So everyone is talking about this crazy moment that just happened in the Walking Dead comic. And before I continue, there's going to be lots of spoilers for issue 191. So with that out of the way, Rick Grimes may have just died officially. In the comic book, it's no longer just on the show. Or at least that better be what just happened, or Robert Kirkman's going to lose a lot of credibility with some of these pretty intense cliffhangers he's been doing, that he always does at the end of his issues. And before I get into how it went down, I just want to say that Rick Grimes dying in the comic, at least at this point, it does give more legitimacy to the TV show and their killing off of Rick. After all, it's no longer such a bad decision to have Andrew Lincoln leave the show, since he would have just died 2 arcs later, during the Commonwealth. Of course, at the same time, the comic book readers are starting to experience what the TV show viewers felt when the decision was made to quote-unquote kill Rick Grimes. It's kinda divisive. Not nearly as much, because there's not a lot of comic book readers compared to how many people watch the TV show. Like, a lot of people are not liking the decision, and I totally get why. In both instances, it all comes down to how Robert Kirkman writes his stories. He puts the central focus kind of on Rick Grimes. I've seen some articles a few months ago talking about how Rick Grimes always seems to be the one that brings democracy to a situation, to solve all of the problems, to make everyone come to reason. That's why his eventual death will be a tough one to take. It'll be a tough hit, because you lose that central focus, and now you expect everyone else to step up. And that could work in real life, but in TV shows, in stories, people stepping up is incredibly difficult. Personally, I don't think anyone has successfully stepped up to Rick's position in the TV show just yet, but they're on their way there, I'd say. Angela King has done a good job in making Rick's death not distracting, and it's actually gone pretty well so far. In the latest issue of The Walking Dead comic, issue 191, there's basically this big brouhaha going on, and Rick overtakes the Commonwealth, or at least that's what it's looking like, but the governor's son is not having it. And for those of you that haven't read the latest issues or just don't read the comics, Sebastian, which is the son of the governor, is very much like Joffrey of Game of Thrones. He's a spoilt, entitled brat, and he just gets away with a lot of terrible things that he does. After a very incredible speech by Rick Grimes, where he actually has a throwback to, maybe it's a bit too on the nose, but it's a reference to We Are the Walking Dead. In this speech, he says, "We are not the Walking Dead." It's a kind of a direct contradiction to what he said in season 3 or 4 of The Walking Dead in the TV show, and that could be a cool moment actually if Scott Gimple decides to adapt that specific line in his movies. But later, Sebastian sneaks into Rick's room and shoots him in the heart, and he falls to the floor saying, "What did you do?" And it looks like Rick's a goner. I mean, of course, this is the cliffhanger. It kind of cuts to black after this. And this is what I mean. This has to stick, right? Robert can't keep doing teases like this that don't pay off. And to his credit, though, most of the cliffhangers he does are awesome and aren't tricks. They are always fulfilling, but they aren't always that case. But I can't imagine the backlash Robert would get if this was just a fake out, something similar to Glenn's dumpster death. Not only that, remember there was another fake death with Daryl actually, when we saw him get shot, the blood splattered on the window, and then it cut to black, and we purposely didn't see Daryl's reaction to getting shot. So it just looked like he was dying. And then, that's the cliffhanger of the episode. Next episode later, or next season later, next time we see Daryl, he's totally recovering fine. So that's what I mean by trolling the audience, basically. It's just not in good taste. And regardless of this being a good or bad decision in the comic book, it's gotta mean something. But the TV show struggled in its own way without Rick Grimes in the beginning, and I think it's recovering okay after season 9, but it's a very different flavor of The Walking Dead without Rick Grimes. The comic books are even more reliant on him, I think. So this is gonna be a make or break situation for The Walking Dead. I'm hoping it'll do just fine, but I'm also at the same time hoping this is actually real, and Rick doesn't just recover miraculously after being shot in the heart. But unless Robert Kirkman says anything about this new issue, we'll have to wait until the next issue to see if this actually pans out. But until then, remember to drop a like and subscribe for more Walking Dead videos just like this and some Marvel stuff, and thanks for watching.